Hey everyone, thank you for checking this video and welcome to this episode on how to choose a PHP framework. When we want to create PHP application, whether it's simple or complex, we tend to pick a framework instead of coding the whole thing on our hands. But way before we pick framework over another, you should ask yourself, why do we need a framework? You pick one so you do less work and attain faster results. Instead of coding everything from scratch, you benefit from efforts of other people so you don't have to reinvent the wheels. You should structure your code so you avoid messy code. People tend to write spaghetti code when they focus on functionality, and they forget about organizing their code, or they leave this step to the end. You benefit from MVC design pattern. MVC, or Model View Controller, is the preferred way of coding for many programmers, so it is very welcomed among experienced coders as well. You'll learn new skills and best practices while writing clean code. Before we jump into the ins and outs of each framework, let's see what are the types of PHP frameworks. The first type is regular PHP frameworks, which contain a set of files organized and coded based on MVC design pattern. Some of the frameworks that use this design pattern are Laravel, Symfony, CodeIgniter, and cakephp. The second type is extension-based frameworks, which are programmed in C language and they are added to the server as extensions or as plugins. The most commonly used frameworks which are based on C extension are Phalcon and Ice framework. Now, with all these types of PHP frameworks, what is the difference between them? To illustrate the difference, let's start one by one, starting with regular PHP frameworks. They are scalable. When your project grows and demands for more functionalities and resources, this type is the way to go. You can get up and running without setting up any servers. You just plug and play. You can extend the functionalities and add missing features yourself. However, they tend to be big and bulky when your application starts to grow, so you have to be aware of that. You have to dedicate some time to learn them as they tend to have a steep learning curve. The second type of PHP framework are C extension based. They are small and lightweight with small footprint. They are super performant and blazing fast. They outperform the regular PHP frameworks. You can start making apps easily and the learning curve is not steep. However, they require basic understanding of Linux to be able to set them up on your server. Their source code is written in C, so if you want to extend or modify the existing feature, you need to know C or hire a C programmer to do this for you. If we take a look at most searched frameworks during a year time frame, we can see that the regular PHP frameworks tend to get the most searches, and this boils down to the popularity they gained. Laravel, for example, is above all other frameworks because it is simple to get started and it has become more popular among developers, from newbies to experts. When it comes to performance, C-based extensions are faster and they can handle more requests per second, leaving regular PHP frameworks behind. When PHP application gets complicated or has more requests from users, regular framework will slow down and the server may crash and act like it was hit by a DDoS attack. You need to consider this as well when selecting your ideal framework. If all these frameworks have many similarities and have few differences, which one to choose? Well, that depends on you. You can choose regular PHP framework if you want to get started fast, you don't want to get your hands dirty with Linux, or you don't have basic knowledge or Linux commands. You have a capable web hosting, especially when your application grows. You plan to grow a short term, or you want to start a big project and you want to lay a solid foundation for it. On the other hand, you can choose a C-based frameworks if performance matters for your project. You have some understanding on Linux commands or have an intermediate level as a developer. You have some understanding on Linux commands or you have an intermediate level as a developer. You want to write a clean code and focus on the code you write without messing with libraries or complicated files, which can grow to the point where management can be a big hurdle for you. You insist on security and worry about protecting your application. This will benefit your application if you got hacked. At the end, I want you to remember, it's not about framework. If you rely too much on the framework, you will not get superior to other developers. Plan ahead of time for scalability if you are into big projects. Always test in a sandbox environment or your local machine until you get ready for production. Don't test on people's existing application servers. And finally, always learn something new and don't become just another PHP developer. At the end, I would like to thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit the like button and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe to get more videos like this as soon as I launch them. In the next videos, we will code sample applications using different frameworks. Thank you again for staying with me. See you in the next one.